Hello and welcome to MidKent College. Thank you for joining us today to find out more about student support at MidKent College. My name is Karen and I'm going to be your host for the next 30 minutes or so. So to my right is Ben, he's from our team of student support at the college, and he's going to be shortly going through more about the different support areas available to you and how you can enjoy your time with us at college. Now, visitors to our normal open day set, they really value the opportunity to kind of have a look around the campus. But obviously, we can't offer you that at the moment, but we do have some really great 360-degree photos available on our website, so please make sure you check them out. And obviously, take advantage that Ben's here today if you do have any questions about how we support our students. Just some general housekeeping to start us off. If you do have any questions at all, either about what I say or about what Ben says, please pop them in the live chat window to the right-hand side of your screen and we'll answer them for you. My colleague Hayley is also there if there's anything else that you need. So I'd like to start today's session by introducing our principal, Simon Cook, in this short welcome video.
Hello there, I'm Simon and I'm the principal of MidKent College. It's great to be able to talk to you, and I so wish I would be able to talk to you in person, but virtually, hopefully your opportunity to get to know a little bit more about the college will help you with your decisions that you need to make. So over the next 30 minutes in this virtual open event, you're going to have an opportunity to meet one of the tutors from your chosen subject area. Really make the most of that time to find out what it means for you. Ask some questions. No question is a silly question. Please ask whatever question you've got. Take some notes, but make sure that you've got the info that you really need to make that decision about what you want to do in September. And if you're really not sure what you want to do, then you're not the only person. There are lots of people every year that we see. It won't be any different the current year under these current circumstances who really don't know what they want to do. There might be even some of you who are thinking you really don't know what to do because you see what's going on in the world and you're not quite sure what job prospects there may be. By the time you finish your programme, the world will be a different place again, and there will be many more opportunities then that may not exist now. So talk to our staff about it. And also don't be frightened if you don't know what you want to do. Have a look at some of our other sessions. Come into other sessions and see. What's really important, and one thing I say to everybody who comes into the college, you must feel comfortable with the people that you're going to be sharing your next few months and years with. And I want you to feel comfortable that you're going to be able to flourish and thrive as a person, not just study a qualification, but flourish and thrive as a person with those people you talk to. So if you don't get any of the answers that you think you need in the virtual session, we've got a brilliant team on our course inquiries, and we've got a brilliant team in our careers office who will help you navigate the language, what options there are, and for you, what's the right thing to do, which is a question we often get asked every year. I hope you enjoy your session, and I really hope that I get to see you very soon at the college, and we look forward to welcoming you with us in September, if not in person, virtually, that's for sure. Good luck.
So next up, I'd like to officially hand over to Ben, who's going to share more about the different support teams available here at the college. And over to you, Ben.
Thank you very much. So hello everybody, yes, I'm Ben Beer, I'm the Student Welfare Team Leader here at MidKent College. And really, I've got the privilege of looking after a number of different teams, which are all designed to offer the most support that's feasibly possible to students, new or old, at the college. So I want to talk you through those different teams. So really there are 5 parts to the support teams, as it were, and they are counselling, transition, welfare, student engagement, and ALS. But what I'll do is I'll talk about each one of those in a little bit more detail so they make a little bit more sense. So first and foremost, we've got welfare team. Now, we completely and utterly understand that for a minority of students, that things won't always necessarily go completely according to plan through the year. And what we try and make sure that we do is we've got the best possible support staff on hand to answer questions, support you, guide you in the right direction, when actually a little bit of support would be really useful. So introducing first of all the welfare teams, we've got Cherry, Michelle and Donna, who between them look after that team, and they do everything surrounding our looked after children, so those that are in care or those that might be in foster placements or living with carers. They do everything around safeguarding, so if something were to occur that actually needs a bit of investigation or some support from external services, they might get involved in that too. They can offer student support and advice around homelessness, because sometimes things happen, and actually we want to make sure that we can be a place where you can come for that additional support as well. And they offer advice around a whole load of other subjects. Now, everything they do is confidential. They are well trained and well skilled to make sure that they can offer you the best possible support, whatever that situation might be. So really, if you do access the welfare services in the college, I hope it's a confidential and a service which is of great use to you. Lovely. Next up, we have got the transition team. So the transition team, they are essentially a team of two people, so Lynn and Maria. Lynn's based at Medway and Maria's based at Maidstone. And between the two of them, they look to offer you the best possible support between whatever position you're coming from, so whether that's a school or an education provider, through to college, and make that as seamless as feasibly possible. So with the transition team, they can offer things, support around how to adapt to college life. They can look at support that they can put in place if you have a physical disability. They work with those that are experiencing mental health conditions or difficulties, and they can make sure that we put packages in place that can support surrounding that. And they can be as bespoke as need be. So whether that is reducing a timetable, whether that is making sure that somebody has got a different access to the building or different classes, they can do all those things to make sure that college life works for as many people as possible, irrelevant of where you're coming from. And that support isn't just whilst you're transitioning into college. It can go on for a number of weeks, if not months, after you arrive. And both of them also do their own support in terms of things like sleeping problems. They do some cognitive behavioural therapy and some stuff around anger. So really that support can be whatever it is that that young person, that student needs at that point in time. So yeah, that's the transition team. Moving on, we've got ALS, which stands for Additional Learning Support. So the Additional Learning Support team, they do everything surrounding any support that's needed for a student to be able to best access their lessons. So if you have an EHCP, an educational healthcare plan, or you have a condition which makes learning that a little bit more difficult for you, so that could be anything like autism or mental health, ADHD, dyslexia, SEMH, SEBD, so social, emotional, mental health and social, emotional behavioural disorders, anything like that. The ALS team is on hand to make sure that that support is put in place to make things as easy as feasibly possible. Now, they do that in a number of different ways. So it may be that it's through having a learning support assistant, like a teaching assistant in the class with you. It might be by having a little look at what changes they can do to your exam arrangement, so like having a reader sitting next to you, or giving you extra time at the end of an exam to make sure you've got enough time to complete it. But they also do things like one-to-one support. So it might be that you go to an English or a maths hub where we do extra support and extra lessons to make sure that we best support those needs. ALS take care of all of those different things. We also work with externals in the ALS team. So we have speech and language therapists who can do that work with students to help identify any needs they might have surrounding speech and language to make sure the communication is taken care of. So essentially with ALS, the most important thing is if you are thinking about applying and you know that one of those things might apply to you, so you might have an educational healthcare plan, or you might have a need which you'd like to discuss, please tick the box on the application so that we can make sure that you're offered a support interview after your application goes through. Lovely. Next of all, we've got the counselling service. So the counselling service is a team of 3, Joseph, Tina and Rob, who again work across both Medway and Maidstone. Counselling is a clinical professional service that we offer, but they are in-house counsellors, but they're completely non-independent. You can talk to them about anything that you need to talk about. Some of them have got specialisms, so it might be that we recommend one counsellor versus another, so whether it's bereavement or whether it's drugs and alcohol or anything like that, they are on hand to have those conversations with you. But the conversations are completely confidential. The only reason they might change that is if they were to think that you were at risk of any sort of harm, and then they might liaise with that welfare team that we talked about earlier. But all of it is designed to keep you as safe and happy and emotionally well as feasibly possible. They look to do about 6 weeks initially, but I know that some people access counselling for longer, and it is open to all students. So it doesn't matter whether you are 16th and 19th. It doesn't matter whether you're an apprentice or whether you are indeed on an adult programme. Counselling is available to everybody. Lovely, and then we've got the student engagement team. So the student engagement team, made up of Maddie and myself, we do loads of things that are all about making sure that student experience is absolutely as engaging and interesting as it feasibly can be from day one. So we organise things like freshers and then refreshers after Christmas. And freshers is all about getting activities in the building, getting people available who you can speak to. And even if we can't do that in person, we're going to make sure that we do something else, something virtually, to make sure that you've got the best access as possible to understand what our community can offer the college, what the college can offer the community, and all the different people that we work with to make college life that little bit more interesting. So that might be offering things like student discounts. So we've got Totem, which is part of the NUS, which you might have heard of, and they offer student discount cards, so you can get discounts at loads and loads of high street shops and cinemas and loads of restaurants and things like that, and phone contracts and all that sort of stuff. Being a student has all those things, all those discounts available to you. And the student engagement team can make sure that you get sorted out with the card to make that happen. We also do things where we try to make sure that students who really want to be involved in college life and shape the way that being a student looks at MidKent College have the chance to do so. So the student engagement team run things like student ambassadors, who ultimately are a group of students who get the opportunity to go and talk to external partners, whether that be the police, the local council, whether that be talking to government, things like that, to talk about further education. And we have Student Voice, which is a large group of students, about 120 students who gather about 3 times a year, sometimes more, and they have the opportunity to talk about all things that are going on for them, whether that is what the food tastes like, whether that is what they do in their lessons, whether that is a whole myriad of different things, loads of different things. We have those conversations, and what you say counts. So we make sure we take your feedback, we go and we talk to the managers, and we say, the students want this. And that's what we do. So it's a real opportunity to be really involved in college life and have your say on what that should look like. So yeah, that's really the student engagement team. They get to do lots of youth work stuff, so you will see them around the college. You'll see Maddie in particular around the college. She will do lots of things around youth work as well, so that might be stuff on drugs and alcohol, that might be sessions around LGBTQ+, and making sure that the right support is in place for students negotiating that. And ultimately, she is a fantastic source of support and advice around loads of different subjects. So that's the student engagement team. And essentially, that kind of wraps up the student support services. There are 5 different teams that are all designed for the same thing, which is making sure that college life is as fun, safe, and secure as it possibly can be for every student. And that, Karen, I think is me.
Great, thanks, Ben. That was really helpful and really informative. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I've got a question for you from the live chat, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Can I access those services at any time, and will it be in confidence?
Yeah, of course you can. So every single one of those services is available. The only caveat on that is that the counselling service is term time only. So that during the school holidays or college holidays, there is a break in counselling, but that can be picked up before and afterwards, which is not a problem either way. Every other service is available throughout, so safeguarding and welfare runs all the way throughout all the holidays, and we make sure that those services are really easy to manage. So you can either refer yourself by knocking on a door, or sending an email, or phoning somebody. You can speak to any member of staff who can point you in the right direction if you are feeling emotionally or mentally unwell. They can make sure that you get that support immediately, and all staff are trained to be able to direct you to the right place. Is that
across both our Medway and Maidstone, or is one at, how does that work?
No, so all services are available across both sites. So we have welfare and counselling services and student engagement services across both sites. So, and the process is very, very much the same. So at both campuses, we have student hubs, which a student can just come and knock on. It doesn't matter what their inquiry is. It can be about their course, it can be about their emotions, it can be about anything in between. And the idea is that in that room, there is always somebody who can start to answer that question for you, or if they need to, put you in touch with the right person. But yeah, exactly the same on both campuses.
Great, thanks, Ben. Another one is, can I talk to you if I see you around campus as well, if I have any problems?
Yeah, please do. So the best thing about all the support services, we are really visible. We try and do our very best to be out and about and walking along the corridors and saying hello to students. As part of the management team, you'll often see me on the front gates, whether that's at Maidstone or Medway. I tend to do normally 3 days at one, 2 days at the other. So you'll probably see me on the front gates, and yeah, I'd love it. Yeah, come and say hello and let me know what course you're doing. Let me know how you're doing this year and anything that I can do to support. I'm more than happy to have chats with people. And you can always just get in touch with me, ask any member of staff to come and find me, and they'll do so.
Great, thanks, Ben. Charlotte, I hope that helps. Ben, I've got a question, if that's okay. Do we have social zones at the campuses? What do they involve? What equipment do you have available just in kind of breaks between lessons?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so it is true that there is often breaks in between lessons. So it's not necessarily that you have lessons back to back. So we try and make sure that you've got stuff that you can do in those gaps if you have got one. Now we've got loads of breakout areas within the college. So we've got some really small ones, which are like in the curriculum areas. So they're often little seated areas that you can gather in. We have got larger social zones. So we've got 2 at Medway and 1 at Maidstone, and they are quite large rooms that have comfy chairs and tables and things that you can sit at. They are open to all students. They're safe, secure places that you can go and sit and just have a break for a moment. There's often stuff going on in them, so whether that's table tennis or whether that's kind of games consoles, things like that. There's lots and lots of bits and bobs going on in there. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a challenge at the moment. Obviously, with everything that we're facing at the moment with COVID-19, it is inevitable that those social zones might look a little bit different for a bit until we get told otherwise. But yeah, generally within the college year, we've got loads of breakout spaces.
Perfect.
We're also really lucky that we've got things like the pavilion area at Medway, which is again a lovely big open space, and we've made sure that we put our student hubs where you get that support in the most accessible place. So at Medway, it's in that main pavilion area, and at Maidstone, it's right next to the refectory where lots of students go to and from. So it's easy to get that support.
Great, thank you. What about sexual health? Do you offer kind of support services in that direction as well?
Yeah, so in 2 ways. So in fact, in 3 ways. So we also work with a external charity called Metro, who can offer really confidential and secure advice around sexual health. And that's really covering a whole range of things. So whether that's getting a Get It card, which is for condoms, or whether that's around LGBTQ plus support. So if somebody is thinking about transitioning or anything related to that, we've got external services that we can use. We have got an internal sexual health nurse who can come and do sessions within the college. And also our own youth work teams are well equipped to have those conversations and point you in the right direction. So I hope that we've got bases covered there as well.
Great, thank you. So in some of the other webinars, we talked about LRCs. Can you tell us a little bit more about what they are? What does that mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So the LRCs are the Learning Resource Centres. So they are essentially libraries, but they're more than a library because they also offer loads of resources to make sure that anything that you're doing surrounding your subject or your learning is taken care of. We look to make sure that you've got the right resources, that you can find exactly the references that you need to add that little bit to your assignment that you're missing, or get the right bit of research that's going to make it that bit more successful. The learning resource centres, they're open early, they often stay late, so they're open from normally 8 till about 6. And that's certainly over at the UCM campus. We keep it open 2 nights a week for adult learners who may be doing evening courses. We've got books, computers, resources, we've got things like journals, magazines, newspapers, all available in those LRCs, and it's always staffed with somebody who can help find the little bit of information that you're looking for. Whether that might be a YouTube video, whether that might be a snippet from a magazine, either way, hopefully the LRC staff are on hand to help you find that little bit. Yeah, they're great spaces. Anybody can go in them, even on a break, you can go and use them to do some research, do a little bit of homework, or just sit and read a book.
Great. So you mentioned computers. Can we book out laptops there as well? Can I use those in my classes or in the breakout areas?
Absolutely, yeah. So each LRC has got a suite of laptops. And what you can do is at the beginning of the day or any point through the day, you can go and borrow a laptop and just you sign to say that you'll bring it back at some point, and then you are welcome to take that away with you and use it wherever you need to, whether that might be in a a classroom with the rest of your classmates, or whether that might be in a breakout area to get some homework done. Not a problem. Yeah, we've got laptops that students can borrow.
Great, thank you. So just go back to one of your slides, if that's okay.
Yeah,
if I wasn't feeling very well or I needed to talk to someone, what would be the best thing to do? Where could I find anyone?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, there's a number of ways that you can get in touch with people if you feel that you want some support. So at both campuses, we've got those student hubs that students can come and knock on the door. Generally, they are manned by a welfare officer or a counsellor. Certainly over at Maidstone, that's where you'll find them anyway. And over at Medway, they are often manned by Maddie, who is in there and able to answer any questions that you've got. The staff in there are trained to be able to deal with any conversation that you might need to have with them, and they can point you in the right direction if they are maybe not the right person to speak to. Alternatively, I've made sure that every single member of staff understands where they can find the right services. So I don't want you to feel as if you've got to find that right door, because sometimes that can still be a bit of a challenge. So essentially, I just want you to speak up, and if there's something that you want to speak about, then just go and find somebody that you trust, whether that might be a PPT, a lecturer, or any one of the welfare staff, and have that conversation, or just ask to be put in touch with somebody who might be able to offer you that support. All of your personal tutors or your progress and performance tutors, PPTs, are able to make referrals through to counselling, welfare, and any other service that we might offer. So you can self-refer, or you can be referred by any member of staff, and every member of staff will be more than happy to support any student with that.
Great, thank you. If I wanted to let you know in advance of starting college that I might need some help or have some needs with that, how would I tell you? Would I have an interview with a specific member of staff before I started college?
Yeah, very possibly. So with ALS, so if you have an additional learning need, so you might have an educational healthcare plan, or you might already know that you have an additional need like dyslexia or autism or something like that, then the best thing that you can do pre-application is to, when you do apply, is to tick that box on the application to say that you would like a support interview. And then they will get in touch with you and organise a time that's really suitable for you to have that support interview and work out what needs it is that you've got and how we can best support you with that. If it's surrounding mental health or it's surrounding transition, then the best thing to do would be to get in touch or mention that to your lecturer when you have your interview, and then they can make sure that somebody from the transition team or welfare staff can get in touch and again have that conversation with you about how we can support you. We're more than happy to attend child in need and care planning meetings and things like that before you even attend college, to make sure that we understand how we can support you, and we've got staff on hand to do that for you. So really, we are more than happy to work out what the best way to support you is, however bespoke or tailored that might be to your needs.
Great, thanks, Ben. Just one last question for me, if that's okay.
Yeah, great.
Can you tell us about some of the other organisations you work with, maybe young drivers or anything like that, alcohol awareness? Who else do you work with?
Yeah, there's so many. So we have the opportunity to work with loads and loads of different providers across our community. We try to make sure that we work with local and national charities, organisations and companies to make sure that the stuff that we offer is really, really relevant to you. So there's no point us working with a small organisation that's based in Reading, because ultimately not many of our students come from there. So in Medway, we make sure that we work with, like you said, people who offer driving lessons and things like that, and we bring them along to our freshers fairs and they can have those conversations with you. They might even offer special discounts for MidKent students. But we also work with lots of people surrounding, like you said, sexual health. We do things with the police to make sure that we understand how young people in the local area can be best supported by the police. We work with Metro surrounding LGBTQ plus issues, but we also work with much bigger organisations like the National Union of Students and Totem to make sure that we offer you as much support as possible. Yeah, there's so many to mention. Students have got involved with local government and councils. They have set up advisory groups for, like I said, the police, and a whole range of other things, all designed to support our community and support our students.
Great, thank you very much, Ben. Guys, if you do have any other questions, please do keep putting them in the live chat and we will ask Ben as we go through. I'm going to move on to talk a little bit more about college life in general, but obviously we will come back to Ben if needed. So we have a Medway campus in Gillingham and a Maidstone campus up the Tunbridge Road on our Oakwood Park campus. Both are multi-million-pound facilities, offering everything from workshops to salons to those refectories and social areas that Ben mentioned, as well as the libraries, obviously those support teams and the careers hubs as well. We have bus stops right outside both campuses, so it's really, really easy to get to us, and a train stop about 10 to 15 minutes walk away from both sites. There's a lot more information about how to reach our campuses under the About Us tab on the website. So your study programme with us at college is comprised of 4 different parts. So your technical and professional qualifications, that could be beauty, that could be hair or carpentry. Personal development sessions where you'll cover everything from mental health right through to having a work ready interview with an employer. There's nothing scary, there's nothing to worry about. It's just to give you some feedback from an employer, so when you do go out into the workplace, you're ready for that all important interview. You'll also do English and maths with us, so that could be functional skills, GCSEs, or stretch and challenge. That's just based on the level that you start with us. And you also do a really, really vital industry placement in a relevant area to your subject area. So apprenticeships, we've got an apprenticeships webinar happening today as well. So if that is of interest, please do sign up to that one on our website, or you can find out more about them under the apprenticeships tab on our website. So some of the common FAQs that we might hear at college. How many days per week will I be in college? So a normal timetable is roughly 3 to 3.5 days per week, including those English and maths sessions. It might look a little bit different from September. We might be doing some more blended learning, so you might be doing maybe some theory webinars from home. That's just so we can comply with those all-important social distancing guidelines, because staff and students' safety is really, really important to us at college. Can I study more than one subject? So unlike at school, where you might do a pick and mix of 3 or 4 different A-levels, at college you'll do one technical and professional programme. So that could be health and social care, that could be animal care, for instance. And alongside you will do those English and maths, industry placement and the PPT sessions that we mentioned. Can I go to university from college? Yes, many of our students do go on to university from college. Our programmes do qualify for UCAS points. If that is of interest, we will support you through the UCAS application process. If it's not for you, that's absolutely fine, and we'll help you to go into employment as well. So what do the different levels mean? So we offer lots and lots of different programs from entry level 1 right up to level 6. And a level 2 is roughly equivalent to GCSEs, and level 3 is roughly equivalent to A-levels, and most of our full-time 16 to 18 units will probably be on one of those 2 programs. If you're not too sure which level is appropriate to you, please check out the entry criteria on our website. If you're really not too sure, please just apply, and then our team will talk you through the best level for you. So how much does a program cost? So if you're age 16 to 18 and you're on a full-time study program, they are fully funded, so they are free for you. If you're 19 plus, fees are payable, but we do have concessions available subject to criteria. There are bursaries available for all age groups subject to criteria. That could cover everything from travel to childcare and food and things like that. And I've popped a couple of handouts to the top right-hand side of your screen, and one of those is about student finance. So Ben, can I ask you for the final one? Is there a deadline to apply to college?
No, so we ultimately are accepting applications, and those applications will roll on for quite a while. I'm sure that will be made very, very clear when that does come to an end. But yeah, no, please apply, and yeah, that's it.
So guys, applications have been open since last November. We will accept them into the first couple of weeks of September, but we really do advise that you apply as soon as possible. Some of our programmes do become full, and if they are full, you'll be popped on the waiting list, and if a place becomes available, we will contact you. So life at college. So Ben's covered lots and lots of this at the moment. Ben, will Freshers' Fair look a little bit different in September? What's going to happen?
Yeah, inevitably. So in September, we want to make sure that we still absolutely keep the safety and welfare of all of our staff and students absolutely top of our priorities. So Freshers is normally such a busy event that we really couldn't do it with social distancing at the moment. So I think that what we're going to be looking at the moment is making sure that we have still all the same providers, the same people available, and we might give them a little slot where they can do some discussions and then put those out through social media. And then we'll make sure that students are fully aware of what services are going to be available to them, whether that's discounts or whether that's local services and organisations, and we'll get all that information out to you, even if you can't come and join us in person.
Great, thank you. So guys, you can get involved in absolutely everything from the pantomimes, even just as the audience, right through to live gigs. You'll do a lot of fundraising, and we offer a lot of competitions. We've got a careers fair picture underneath. So really do get involved in as much as possible during your time at college as well. So what support is available? So Ben has covered quite a lot of the ALS teams and the support that his teams provide, but we also have financial support teams available on both campuses as well. So if you need any advice on those bursaries, travel warrants or bus passes, they're really the team to get to know and to talk to. So student welfare, Ben has covered, really cool, so we'll skip over that one. Counsellors as well, in-class support and exam support as well. So obviously please let us know your needs, or please talk to your tutors if you do need any other support when you are at college. We also have a really cracking team of careers advisors as well. They're on both campuses, and you can book appointments as well if you just want to talk through what to do at college or what you want to do after college, or getting your CV ready, or getting ready for that all-important interview. And you can find more about everything that Ben's talked about and those careers advisors under the help and advice tab on our website. So what's next? So you've heard from me and Ben. So the next thing, if you haven't already applied, please search and apply online at www.midkent.ac.uk, and please use your predicted grades. So once you've submitted your application form, our admissions team will be in contact within about 15 working days to arrange a phone interview. We'd love to do the face-to-face interviews as we normally would, but unfortunately we can't do that at the moment, and you will have a phone interview. That's nothing to worry about, it's nothing scary. It will just be one of the tutors from your subject areas to make sure that you're on the right level for you and the right programme for you and what you want to do as your career aim. You can also ask more questions of the tutor as well about their experience in the industry, or more about the programme at that point as well. If you've already applied and you're just waiting to hear from us, or you might be waiting for your phone interview, that's great, and we'll be in touch with you soon. We do have other webinars available to check out this week, and the recordings and the ones that you might have missed earlier on in the week, so please do check these out on our website. If you need any help at all, please do get in contact with us, and Ben will always answer any questions that you might have about anything that under his area. We've got a really cracking course inquiries team as well, so if no question is a silly question, please don't worry, please ask. 01634 40 20 20. You can live chat with our course inquiries team on our website, or please just pop them an email to course.inquiries@midkent.ac.uk. So you're going to receive a copy of this webinar in about half an hour's time to the email address that you registered with, if you want to go back through Ben's slides again, or if you want to share it with anyone else that you think might be interested in finding a bit more about the student support and the ALS teams at the college. So thank you for your time today, and thank you to Ben for sharing more about the student support teams at the college, and we look forward to seeing everyone in person soon. Thank you very much, everyone.